my dreams, I walk free in the city streets. 2,500 days plus 50 weeks, doing hard time for these WikiLeaks, trying to bring the truth out. Man, it only gets you deep, and then they gag you. You don't get to speak, and when you get the leak, they try to hit the leak. The masters of the masses, they want this shit to street. That's why my middle finger's up to these sick elites playing on a regular. You keep the messenger. Free speech, it's the freedom of press. Take your deepest, darkest secrets, never leave what I say. If I'm a thief, then I'm a thief for the people you dread. The people want the red, white and blue, you keep them in bed. Seeking the sheep, keep them asleep, deceiving the weak. Keep seeking the leech till you cease, and I see your defeat. Until I'm deceased underneath, I freeze a red sheet, become a dead man. Then I hit the switch and release. Goldman Sachs is your creditor. You keep the messenger. Outside my window, a figure quickly creeps. They dark as night like some motherfucking chimney sweeps. Whiskey what my Mickey keeps, dying in my kidneys weak. Silence of my risky tweets, what the grand jury seeks. I'm wanting peace, like 7 years in Tibet. Now rest in peace, like 7 years under threat. Cause I released 7 vaults, they upset. They ended the rape sentence, but the US still insists to rest. I guess it's a sin to take the truth and disseminate. MLK to Gandhi, take him and eliminate. And I don't say I'm great, just wanna say what's fake. But if they kill me, 1,000,000 others will take my place. The CIA's post like a knife the sharpest. All hypocrisy, lies, and heartless. They want to stop me, my life make my heart quit. Cause democracy dies in the darkness. Cause democracy dies in the darkness. You kill the messenger. You kill the messenger. Democracy dies in the darkness. Darkness.
Hi everyone, a bit of an impromptu live stream. I didn't plan on going live today because I was editing videos, but I've just had this news come in and I thought I'd better go live and just explain what's happened. Because a few months ago, Labour MP Chris Williamson, who is the MP for Derby North, he booked a private room in the House of Commons actually to do a private screening he was going to do of this movie, Witch Hunt, which says there, the tagline is the attempt to smash the most hopeful movement of our lifetime, which is the Jeremy Corbyn-led movement in the Labour Party, the socialist movement. And he got into trouble for it because, you know, there's too much truth down there for the House of Commons. And then it came out that he was at a Labour, I think it was a CLP meeting, or that might be mistaken. And he wanted to show this witch hunt film. I think he might have actually shown it. And he was caught on tape basically saying that he felt that we have backed off too much in the face of these false anti-Semitism charges, these smears against various members of the Labour Party who are pro-Palestine or anti whatever Israel's war crimes are doing in Palestine, etc., etc. And the anti-Semitism smear has been weaponized against anybody who is progressive, who isn't really happy that we're backing war crimes from another country against a population which is, I mean, to say that the Palestinians are in an open-air prison there is an understatement. It's not fair on open-air prisons, you know. They tried to get him suspended for anti-Semitism, Chris Williamson. Various factions within the Labour Party who were weaponising this anti-Semitism smear. They tried to get him suspended for accusations of anti-Semitism, and they couldn't because Jeremy Corbyn said no, and Jenny Formby was against it as well, and they said no, this is ridiculous, we're not going to do it. And I believe he was in meetings about Brexit at the time. You know, they obviously picked the most difficult time for him when he's out there and he's doing other things. And eventually he was suspended for what they called a pattern of behaviour. Now, the NEC, the Labour Party NEC, held a disciplinary meeting on Chris Williamson's behaviour, and after taking advice from barristers, they cleared him. They cleared him of these allegations. I think it was by a 3-2 margin, after taking this advice from these barristers who are obviously averse in the law. Then, after massive pressure from the media and massive pressure from outside forces, one of the members on that panel, Labour MP Keith Vaz, changed his mind the next day and basically said he was only doing what he thought Jeremy Corbyn wanted to do when he'd had some dodgy medicine because he'd been to the hospital that day. You know, this is massive force that was being put on them to change their minds and to get Chris Williamson resuspended. And he was. As a result, Chris Williamson, well, he started a fundraiser to try and fundraise his legal fees to challenge this in the court. And that's what's happened today. And this is the update from him. He says this: "The battle is won, the war rages on. The High Court has today judged that the Labour Party acted unlawfully in resuspending me on the 28th of June and that there was no proper reason for doing so." That's in quotes. That there was no proper reason. He's obviously quoting them. "I'm glad the resuspension has been quashed. However, I'm currently suspended." Yeah, still suspended. "It's clear that my resuspension was motivated by media hysteria." The judge said it is not difficult to infer that the true reason for this decision in this case was that NEC members were influenced by the ferocity of the outcry following the June decision. This is exactly what I was saying at the time. I'm glad the courts agree with me. "In fact, the party's decision was so unfair as to be unlawful. And that's why my resuspension has been quashed and all of the allegations presented in that suspension can no longer be pursued against me. Yet a week prior to my court hearing, using every loophole in the book, the party bureaucracy issued me with a new suspension based on a series of preposterous allegations that I answered fully and swiftly. Due to this, despite winning today, the latest suspension stands. I know this will be a bitter disappointment to everybody who has supported me in this case. I'm outraged that membership subscriptions given by our loyal activists have been used to pay legal fees. I'm outraged that I've had to resort to legal means to achieve justice. This is a damning indictment of our party's internal disciplinary procedures, which require a total overhaul towards a fairer, more independent and more democratic system. My suspension must now be lifted. I will be focusing my energies, as we all should, on winning the next election because the Jeremy Corbyn-led Labour movement could transform the lives of millions by bringing about an irreversible shift in the balance of wealth, power and income in our country. I would like to express my thanks and appreciation to my family, my supporters and everyone who generously donated to my crowdfunder. Without you, this victory today wouldn't have been possible. You are the living proof that unity is strength." And I want to thank you, Chris Williamson, personally. I'll go so far as to thank you on behalf of everybody watching this who feels the same way as well. I wish we had 649 of you, more of you down there in the House of Commons. So that's the latest. He's still suspended there. This is my litmus test for the Labour Party. This is my litmus test. If the Labour Party do not reinstate Chris Williamson to their party, he has done nothing wrong. If they don't do it, I will never, ever, ever vote for a Labour politician. Ever. I don't care who they are. I will never vote for them. And you know what? I bet you that there are thousands, tens of thousands in the Midlands and the North who feel exactly the same way. To the Labour Party, if you don't sort this shit out, you are going to lose the next election. Lose it. You're going to lose it terribly. You are losing ground in the Midlands and the North. You have lost them. And this sort of shit is why. You can't even stand up for the best among you. And he still was suspended. He needs to be reinstated to that party immediately. No months wait for your next time Keith Vaz is available in between his doctor's appointments or hospital appointments. Now. The High Court is ruling your disciplinaries panel and your disciplinary panel's decision is unlawful. If you don't value the rule of law, then what the point is of the Labour Party? What's the point of the Labour Party if you don't value the rule of law? We've got the Conservatives. They don't value the rule of law. We need a party that does. How can he still be suspended? Do you not care about a goddamn person in this country who is fighting for the working class? Do you not care about people like me? You don't give a shit about people like me, do you? You say you do, but you're all words. When it comes to actions, oh no, the disciplinary panel. This is disgusting. It's a travesty. And you know what? It's corrupt. It's corrupt. Changed his mind because of dodgy medicine. Keith Vaz changed his mind because of dodgy medicine. Well, I tell you what, I hope he does not get re-elected when the next election comes around the corner. I really do. Because if you're going to elect people like that as your politicians, as your representative, then what's the point of having them? This guy is for sale. But don't worry about it, Keith. If you do lose your seat, you've always got a career in washing machine sales, haven't you? I'm going to go before I shout and swear and what have you. I didn't prepare much for the stream, so I apologise. But I just wanted to make people aware that, you know what, he's still suspended. Even though the High Court has ruled they are unlawful. The High Court has ruled the Labour Party's disciplinary procedures are unlawful. And he's still suspended. If you don't reinstate him, fuck you, Labour. Fuck you. Thanks very much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you hit the bell so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. And click through to the website to find out ways you can support me. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time. Peace. Take care. And Labour Party, if any of you are listening, reinstate Chris Williamson immediately. Otherwise, people like me are going to think you're full of shit and spineless. Thanks for watching.